Hi everyone, my name's Ethan with Coreware, and in this video we are going to be walking through the orders dashboard and how to actually process an order in CoreForce. Let's jump into it. First things first, I'm going to go to the orders menu, and then I'm going to click on dashboard. And this is going to bring up our orders dashboard where you can see important information, revenue, total orders, total customers. You have the ability to actually change all of those dates. And then we actually have a list of all of the orders that have come into the system. In this case, I'm searching my coworker Jason, and we're going to be looking at this order number 16733. Let's go ahead and click on that. A few pieces of information. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we're looking at. In the top right hand corner, we have the order number. If you ever have any questions for us, we do ask that you let us know the order number that you're looking at. Always very helpful to have specific examples. In the top right hand corner here, you'll see the shipping details. This is actually the capital of Nebraska. If you click show on map, it will show you where. Moving on, we have the billing address in the center here. We also can see the payment method that was utilized by the customer. In the top left hand corner, you'll have a direct link to the user's contact record. Contact record will show you extra information such as past purchases the customer has made, etc. We also have some free fraud protection tools built in. We have the reverse address lookup, white pages listing, and then also you'll notice the IP address here is highlighted in green. You can actually click directly on the IP address to get some more information from ip-api.com. We also have some color tools built in. So if the IP address is a certain distance from the shipping address, it will display in orange. And if it's even further away, I believe over 100 miles, it will display in red. Speaking of other fraud protection tools, we do also have an additional add-on called CoreGuard. CoreGuard is a paid add-on because it utilizes some other tools that we ourselves bring together to give you a really good fraud report. So let's take a quick look at that. So this is going to tell you a lot of really helpful information, whether the billing address is valid, whether it's a risky phone number. Clearly, it'll provide you a risk score. We generally recommend taking a look at anything over 70, 75 or higher. That will be marked suspicious. It'll look for some matches on name, identity, phone, email, address, etc. And then you can also see some additional information such as a fraud score related to the IP address specifically. You can see the location, the device details, the connection type, in this case residential, who the actual internet service provider was. And it will also be able to detect any proxy activity, VPN, Tor, etc. So all in all, a really helpful tool. If you'd like to learn more about CoreGuard, you can definitely submit a ticket at help.coreware.com. Additionally, our YouTube channel, just Coreware LLC, does have a webinar where we go through CoreGuard. It is going to be tiered pricing, but again, if you have any questions, feel free to submit a help ticket. Moving on, if there ever is anything odd going on with the payments, we will definitely let you know in the form of an error message. In this case, this was a test order that was set up, and so some of the payments were actually deleted. Down below that, you will see the items that were ordered. In this case, we have a quantity of 3 Glock 42 380s in near brand new condition. We can see that from our Dallas store, we have 13 available for $200 each cost. We, got a really good deal on that. Houston, we have 9 of those in stock at a cost to us of $800 a piece. And then we can also see the total per item that the customer actually purchased these for, and then the order total. Moving on, we have a shipment section. We will come back and we'll talk about how to actually create a shipment as well. The FFL dealer that was selected for this firearm to be shipped to, any payments that were made for this order, you can see that information. And then there's this really helpful notes section as well. So notes can be utilized to either make internal notes on an order, or you can also use them to let a customer know something. So in this case, I made an internal note saying that we might need to contact this customer. It's potential fraud. Remember, we had a pretty high fraud score up here. And so let's say I went ahead and, did my due diligence and I called the customer, decided that they were a legit customer. And so I decided to come in here and mark on the receipt, "Thank you for your purchase." So in that case, you would just write, don't capitalize the second F, but not a big deal. Checkbox here, and then just simply add the note. You do also have the ability to add additional files to an order record if you need to for any reason. And then you can also see any touch points. Touch points are kind of just a way to follow up with customers, etc. And then help desk tickets. So any help desk tickets that customer has actually submitted. Moving back up to the top here. So for this scenario, let's say that we want to actually create a split shipment for whatever reason. Maybe we're just trying to get rid of the Houston stock, but let's go ahead and create a shipment for 2 of these from our Dallas store and 1 of them from our Houston store. To do that, simply go ahead and choose your location. So I'm going to choose Dallas, and that's going to bring up this checkbox. And then if I click this check mark, that's actually going to bring over the full quantity for the order as long as it's available from that particular location. Otherwise, it'll just bring over however many there are. In this case, I just want to do 2. So I'm going to edit that and click 2 and create shipment. And let's go ahead and create 1 from our Houston store as well. Click the check mark again. There's only 1 left in the order, and create shipment. So we now have 2 shipments created, but now we need to do a label. So let's go ahead and click this little truck icon. And what this truck icon is going to do is, if you have our Easy Post integration enabled, you can go ahead and click this create label option. It's going to fill in all of the information. So go through, do your due diligence, check what you need to check, your content details, etc., signature required, etc., etc. And then we can go ahead and click get rates. And we are currently bringing over rates from UPS, USPS, and FedEx. So it all really just depends on who you have set up in your Easy Post account. In this case, let's go ahead and just choose Express and create label. And that's going to create our shipping label for us. And if I exit out of that, and let's say I wanted to go back and actually pull that up again, you can actually just click that truck icon, and it's already been created at that point. It will also fill in the tracking ID. If there is a tracking ID, it will tell you who the carrier is, etc. And let's go ahead and just create another shipment for this one as well. Create label, and as simple as that. So at this point in time, you might want to change the order status to, let the customer know that it's been shipped. So order statuses can actually be set so that they let the customer know something about the order, or they can also be internal use only. So in this case, we can do market shipped. And what that's going to do is it's going to turn this green. And if I go back to the list view, it's actually going to then show that has been shipped here as well. And it looks like that order status is also set to mark the order completed. You can see that completed column that is now completed. So let's go ahead and go back and look into there. But if you need to reopen it, you can go ahead and click reopen the order. Additionally, there's a lot of statuses that you could utilize. We do have a whole list of these and how to set these up on our YouTube channel as well. But if you want to do another one, you could just mark it as the order contains an optic. You may or may not know, but optics are the most commonly fraudulently placed orders in the firearms industry. So that might be a good thing to know whenever those come in to look into. And it's actually pretty easy to set it up so that this is an automatic process as well. So I'm going to tell you about a really, really cool feature in CoreForce. So I'm going to go to orders, settings, automatic processing controls. So you can see that I already have one set up here. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that one. And in the details tab, you can see that this is just internal use only. The front end user will never know that it's there. And this is the description for what is actually happening in this automatic order processing control. And then there's going to be some conditions, and the conditions can be very, very important. Now, in this case, we're only setting an order status, so I don't really need to worry too much about what the conditions are. But some of the other actions that can be taken, as we'll see in the next tab, have the ability to actually create a shipment from a distributor. So kind of a double-edged sword, incredibly powerful, allows you to actually submit inventory for maybe low stock distributor items while you're out of the office, so overnight. But again, for now, I'm just going to emphasize that we are just utilizing this to set an order status. So if the order contains a product in the department optics, these are our different departments that we have. Then I go to the actions menu. All I want this to do is set an order status. order contains optic, and click save. So what that's going to do is make it so that every single time an order comes in with an optic in the order, it's going to automatically place that order status. Additionally, once you are truly finished with the order, you can also just manually mark those orders completed whenever makes sense for you as a dealer. And you also have the ability to actually hide all of your completed orders, hide your deleted orders. That's another good thing to know. You can actually delete an order. Orders are something that you don't generally want to delete, but you might want to for the sake of reporting. Maybe if you actually refunded an order would be a case where you actually want to delete this. But if you ever do need to pull it back, you can always just uncheck that hide deleted filter. Additionally, we have a lot of different column headers built into this. If you go to the actions menu and then preferences, you can see a huge list of different potential column headers. One that I really like that we came out with is this inventory alert. So I can either double click on this or simply drag it over. I'm just going to double click. Or if there was several things I wanted, I could also click this checkbox here to bring everything over. And I'm simply going to click save. And you'll notice that it got rid of a bunch of useful ones, but you could go in there and simply add those back over as well. Very, very easy. But the inventory alert is really nice because it's going to allow you to see when a order contains something that has very, very low inventory. Looks like we are pretty well stocked in our store right now. Not a big deal, but all to say, it will tell you a little triangle if it's pretty low inventory, and then it will tell you in red if it's super, super low inventory. So that means that's an order that you really want to get to fulfilling. But we have a lot of different options in here. Like I said, definitely take a look at all of the different options that are in there. And as always, if you do have any questions about the orders dashboard or simply creating a shipment, please just submit a ticket to help.quora.com and we would be happy to help you out. Thanks, and we'll see you in the next video.